Hello and welcome back to DFM TV. I am Dan the Firestick Man, your source for entertainment, and on today's video, we're going to be talking about some replacement Firestick remote controls that are not going to break your wallet. The reason I say that is because the original remote control replacement will cost you about $30 on Amazon. I find that to be a little bit pricey, especially when you can get a brand new Firestick with a remote control for $40, $50, or $55 depending on the Firestick that you get. So we're going to talk about some replacement ones that are not going to break your wallet. We're going to talk about the prices, the ratings, and everything. So stay tuned, because at the end of this video, I'm also going to show you a free way that you can use your cell phone or your tablet as a remote control for your Firestick right now, and it's going to be absolutely free. You can do that as a primary option, or you can do it as a temporary option until you order one of these remotes and get that into your home and program, and then you're back in business. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the cons that you're going to get with any aftermarket replacement remote that you find. One of the cons is, if I show you the original remote here, this is the original Amazon remote control. You see these buttons here on the bottom? Now, a lot of you may not have this if you have an older remote, but all the new ones have this now. And you have this button right here on the top that's blue. Some of the older remotes will have a little microphone. Everybody should have that one. Now, these 5 buttons are not going to be available on any aftermarket remote, because that has to do with the Firestick itself in the programming and the software. So you're not going to find those buttons available on any aftermarket remote when it comes to voice control. So you're going to lose that with the 3 options that I'm going to show you. But if you don't care for those things and you just want something to get back into your Firestick and start watching movies and shows, then these remotes may benefit you. I'm also going to have the links, the affiliate links, on the bottom of the description of this video. You're not going to pay any more money, or you're not going to get a discount by clicking on them, but you will support this channel by clicking on one of those links and ordering through one of those links that I put on the description of this video. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. The first remote control that I want to show you guys, this remote control is the A6-B model. As you can see here, this price is at $17.99. It's a Prime, so you'll get it the next day if you do have Prime. This will be the same price whether you have a business account or a normal account. And when it comes to ratings, it has 9,501 ratings, which is pretty good. That means it gets ordered quite a bit. When it comes to a 1-star, it has about 18%. And when it comes to 5 stars, it has 54%. Everything else is 2, 3, and 4 stars. So overall, over half of the people that have purchased this are happy with it and give it a 5-star rating. But let's go ahead and do a comparison for ourselves. As you can see here, this is the remote itself, and this here is the original Firestick remote. I just happen to have it in a blue case. But I'm going to put them side by side. And when it comes to the size of it, it is a little bit taller. When it comes to it being thinner than the original one, obviously this looks a little thicker than what it really is because of the case, but it's still thicker than this replacement one. The only thing that I will be concerned about when it comes to this remote is the fact that it doesn't seem like it's very well made plastic. It just seems like a regular remote. I think that your television remote may be a little bit more harder plastic than this is, so I'll be worried about dropping this a couple of times on tile or hardwood floors. So definitely, if you get one of these, you might want to get yourself a little rubber case to protect it, because you might drop it 1 or 2 times and it might be over. Other than that, it seems to be a good remote. I have tested all 3 of these remotes on a 2nd generation in a 4K and also a 4K Max. They're all linked up via Bluetooth, no problem, and they work great. They really do everything that they say they're going to do. But I do want to mention a couple of cons. It's considered an IR remote, which is infrared remote, means that it connects via Bluetooth. The downside of that feature is when it comes to the volume control and the power button. The volume control and the power button will work your television, but in order for it to work, you have to sync it with the original television remote, not your Firestick remote, but your original TV remote. You have to pretty much do it like this, put them in front of each other. You have to press the buttons. It'll have a little instruction manual to show you exactly how to program it. But in order for those features to work, you have to have your original TV remote, not the Firestick, but the original TV remote. If you don't have the original TV remote, then you won't be able to use the volume, the mute, and the power button on this remote. You'll only be able to use it on the Fire Stick itself to move around and to click on the apps and everything. So if your thing is to actually be able to work the volume and you don't have the original TV remote, then my recommendation is to skip any aftermarket remotes and purchase the $30 original Amazon remote. Why? Because this doesn't need your original remote. This links up with the Fire Stick that's hooked up to your television. It will find the code and it will start working those volume buttons, power button, and mute button. So this is one of the things that you benefit with using the original Amazon remote for 30 bucks. So that said, let's go ahead and right now jump over to the second remote control that I'm going to show you. Now this one I kind of like. This one is considered to be the C30 model. The C30 model is actually $1 cheaper than the last model I just showed you. It's $16.99 Prime. Doesn't matter if you have a business or a regular account. It should be available in 1 or 2 business days, depending on where you are. And when it comes to the rating, it has a total of 410 ratings. And 5-star is about 48%. And 1-star is about 17%. So people don't seem to like this one as much as the first one. But I personally would say that I like this one better. If we start looking at them side by side, this is it right here. Okay, and what I like about it, as you guys saw in the picture here, and I'll show you this picture again, how it kind of curves on the back end. It's kind of, so when it comes to gripping the remote control, it's more comfortable. I find it to be more comfortable than just a straight remote control like I just showed you. More comfortable than actually the original Amazon remote control, and it just kind of fits right in the palm of your hand perfectly. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. You have to really put it in your hand to see, but that little curve really makes a difference on how you hold this remote control. When it comes to the plastic and being flimsy like the other one, it's fairly around the same. I'm not gonna say that this is a stronger, more firmer plastic in case you do drop it, but if you do drop it, the weight is going to go more towards the bottom since the battery is going to be right here. And I think if it falls, I don't think the chances of it breaking are as likely as this remote control here, but I guess it depends on how it falls. I will still get a cover for one of these too if you decide to do that. Now the one thing that this one has over the last one that I showed you is actually a number keypad, which some of you may use the number keypad. I personally don't really find a need for it myself, but you may use this remote to work other things because it's infrared, so it will also work on your television. Again, for it to work on your television, you do need the original TV remote. These, again, are primarily for Fire Stick replacements. So you don't need the original Fire Stick remote to program this to the Fire Stick. It would just link up Bluetooth. But for your television, to work that volume control and features, you really need your original TV remote in order to link that up. But it has that keypad. It feels great in your hand when you're holding it. And it works on all 3 of those Fire Sticks that I tested, 2nd generation, 4K, and 4K Max, perfectly fine. So it will work on any Fire Stick that you plug this into. If I had to choose between number 1 and number 2, just the way that it feels and everything, I would choose number 2. But if you're a big guy about ratings and how many people bought this over the other one, you know, then you want to go with this one. It has more ratings, more people bought this one, even though it's $1 more than this. But you're gonna have to make a decision on your own. I just seem to like this one better. If I had to choose, I would choose this one, but that's my personal preference. You might feel different. So now let's go to option number 3. Now this one is kind of like a fancy one for the price of it and everything. So let's go ahead and look at it. This is called, let me see the model number here so I can just be precise with you guys. This is a CR3. Okay, the CR3 here, it's pretty fancy remote. It's it costs $21 if you're a business member, and I happen to be a business member. That's why you see that price there. It'll cost you $22 if you're not a business member. So it'll cost you a couple dollars more. And now the one of the advantages that this remote has is that keyboard in the back of it, which I'm going to show you that in just a moment here on the actual remote. That's a cool feature, especially if you're losing the voice command feature. So if you're losing the voice command feature and you're going to find yourself having to type the titles of your movies and shows so you can search for them, then a keyboard would be ideal. But let me show you a couple of things about this remote. Let's put them side by side here. Here's the Amazon original one, and here's this remote. As you can see, it's really big. It's bulky compared to the first one. It's wider. It is actually thicker. Okay. Here's the front side of it, and here's the back side of it with the keyboard. Okay. Hopefully this will focus. Okay. And here's the front side of it. So it is a big remote. If you like big remotes with big buttons, it has a little number keypad in the front that have pretty big buttons. The OK button is pretty big. So if you have a little bit sight issues where you can't see things very well and you want something big that you can see, this will be a great option for you. The keyboard in the back will also be a great option for you. So it is a pretty decent remote for the price. The biggest downside for me personally is the fact that it doesn't have a backlight to it. Neither in the front. Now, neither of these remotes have a backlight to it, but this one specifically, if they didn't put a backlight in front of it so you can see the buttons at night when it's dark in the room, they should at least have it for the actual keypad, which they do not. Which will make it hard to see the letters and numbers and everything in the back when the room is dark and everything. You really need to have a good light on, and you need to get a good look at it in order to see the letters and everything back there. So to me, that's a downer. I mean, they could have added that, maybe added another $1 or $2 to the price of it, but they didn't. So that, for me, it's no go. I don't like how big it is. Again, some of you may like it. I don't like how big it is. I don't like that it doesn't have a backlight. And the same thing applies. It will work on the Fire Stick with no issues, no problems. But when it comes to the volume control, the power, the mute button, you really need to have the original TV remote in order for this to work properly and pretty much work that volume on everything. Those are the three remotes. Let's go. The final remote, we're going to go back to the original Amazon Fire Stick remote control. And as you guys know, this Fire Stick remote control is priced about $29. Well, let me pull it up real quick to show you guys. It's priced right now at $28.49. If you're a business member, a person that doesn't have a business account will pay $29.99 for this remote control. And this is the original one. This comes with everything. So even if you had the old one that didn't have those buttons and the microphone button wasn't blue, it was just a little microphone, you can still upgrade to this remote control, whether you have a second generation, a 4K, a 4K Max, a Fire Cube. This remote will work with all of them. Fire TV, you also will work with all of them. So this is a great option because obviously this is the one that it comes with the Fire Stick. But the price is going to be $30 roughly, unless you have a business account, so like $1.50 less. And there it is. The last thing I'm going to show you guys before you guys start clicking away is how you can get access to your Fire Stick right now using your cell phone or tablet. What you want to do is you want to search Fire Stick remote on either the App Store or on the Play Store. So whether you have an iPhone, Apple, or if you have an Android device, it doesn't matter. The App Store or the Play Store, you want to do a search for Fire Stick remote control, and the logo looks just like this right here. This is the logo that you're looking for. You're going to click on that. You're going to install it, download it and install it. It's absolutely free. And then it's going to link up with your Fire Stick. There it is. I hope this video has been helpful. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell notification. I am Dan, the Fire Stick Man. You have been watching DFM TV. And until the next video, guys, happy streaming.